I'm Kemit. I'm from Detroit, and I'm sitting here with Aberlado, about to share my version or my journey with Dr. Sebi. So I started hearing about him maybe the end of 2013, and just that he had some village and he made some CMOS, but I still never knew who he was until September 2014. I watched my first video of Sebi on YouTube, and I just felt, I loved his sense of storytelling. I just love how he spoke, like how he charged and activated people. Like he was a really healing speaker, you know. So I started watching a lot more videos, and then when I heard of the first event and him doing lectures, which was New York, I guess, New York and Philly. So I got to the lecture in New York, and I was really determined to respond, to engage. I feel like I watched one video where he said he was looking for, women to study and to come and be in nature, and come to learn in the Usha village. And maybe that was some time ago, but that was my interest. And in that video, he said, I have a gift for the black woman. And he would always talk about the naked woman in the forest, the naked lady in the forest, or the jungle, And I just felt really empowered to, and just motivated. Like he held a space, a presence, like just the diligence it takes to be who Sebi was, like to be such in the presence of healing, our strength and healing. So I'm at Aberlado because at the New York lecture, I guess I held myself in a way that draw him to, to be present with me, to see me, and to I guess, get me closer to Sebi, or get us connected. And our first connection was, I believe, back in December of 2015. No, excuse me, 14. And I went to his office, and we drove to Mexico. We got some herbs. It was nice riding by the ocean. It was nice. We spoke a lot. Or he would, tell me his stories. He was a beautiful storyteller, I was told that I was going to Usha after we left Mexico, but that didn't happen in that manner. So I just sat and I persisted, and I waited, and I was present, and I was engaging. And around this time, I was probably dreaming about Sebi a lot, lie though.
What you dreamt about, Sebi?
Some different things. I would always see Sebi on a boat. He would always be on a boat in my dreams. I remember one dream, it was like he was floating in the air on a string, and he was in his boat. You know, I just always had a strong association with Sebi and water, and just his playfulness and his youthfulness. I dreamed I was at his village, and it was like an island surrounded by water, and he shared some things with me that he shared. I just felt really close. Like I felt like we had a really, deep bond or something, just connection in my dreams that made me feel like I knew him, that made me feel like, he was of value to me. And I just really appreciated, his role. And then I would have other dreams too. I would have other dreams like, just the environment that I felt like he was around. He asked me to go to the Atlanta lecture with him, and I had a dream that I didn't actually end up at the lecture. I ended up at the talk show after the lecture, but I had a dream that I was on that stage with him, and I remember feeling like I was, working to protect him, because it felt like energy, present in the dream that just wanted him dead, and I just felt like I was trying to steer him away from that, but throughout our relationship, it was very, it made me really realize, like, because I wasn't able to connect with him as much as I thought I would. I always felt like I was being pushed away from him, even though I felt so close to him. So I didn't understand. But the deeper I would get into just the awareness of my own work and how it felt, I just felt connected to Sebi and what he did, and I just value what he did, and I wanted to do more on top of what he did. So after not hearing back from Sebi, I decided that I was gonna go down to Honduras, and I got to Honduras, and I walked through the village, and I didn't go in a traditional way. Like, no one knew I was coming, You should have saw how I walked in there. What I had on, like, it was, man.
Talk to me, that's why we here. Talk to me.
So it was a wild day that day. It was a really wild day that day.
Talk to us.
So, so we rode in, and I just got out, and I just started walking to the glass house. I had instructions, so I'm focused, and I got to get straight where I need to get. I walked on in, looking like myself, and I walked straight to the glass house, and it was this guard with a gun, maybe a Honduran or something. I don't know what they call that, but he was chasing me. I mean, I wasn't running. I wasn't running, but I was on the move, you know. And then I had suitcases in my hand, so it's like I'm just, I got emotion about me. So I finally get up to like the driveway of the glass house, and it was this tree. And I don't know, I felt comfortable. I'm like, okay, I have to put my luggage down because I can't just, So I put my luggage under the tree, and it had like this beautiful looking seed pod, that was on the ground. And I picked up the seed pod, and I asked it to protect my luggage because I knew I wasn't really wanted, So, and, I mean, I understood what that was, but I felt like I needed to talk to Sebi for some reason. Like I was, I needed to make a presence. So I put my luggage under the tree. I grabbed the seed and I say, protect my luggage, and as long as I hold on to the seed, I should be good. So I go to the glass house, and at that point I stop. So I'm like standing still. I'm probably doing the same posture you see me in, like I'm here to talk to Sebi. So in Taiwan, she greeted me. She was the only one who came to me with a smile. She was looking like, "Hey, you, what's up?" And until they told her to go back in. But other than that, everybody was probably cussing me out or saying this or saying that and a whole bunch of whatever. I don't know. But I was focused. So I finally went in and I talked to him. So, man, that was something.
What was that conversation like?
So it started off like he was mad, he was mad because what it was is just a lot of, people were trying to make it hard to get to Sebi, or like keeping me away from Sebi. So it's like I would feel us, at this having one type of relationship, but it would feel restricted, or like, just, people saying this, assuming that, saying this, creating a narrative about you. So we had a lot of that kind of talk about how he felt I was this or that, and we just talked it out, and we start talking about how he feel about, I guess, the so-called healing people, or the so-called healing community, where all of the individuals involved, he felt like people weren't helping him, or like he couldn't do more. It was like he was talking about he wanted to do more, or he just felt like he should have did this and he should have did that, and I started expressing to him that he did, but that he did so much, reminding him that his role in this community and in the healing world, was very therapeutic, and that I felt like he was just, upset about where everything was. I feel like he knew. I remember looking at his feet in the bed when I was talking to him, and something was just telling me that he didn't feel good, and in the midst of talking to him, I noticed that I lost that seed with my luggage. And I'm all looking like, I mean, it just like magically disappeared. And I'm all like, where is this seed at? And eventually I found out that they did move my luggage. They moved my luggage all the way to the front gate. So after I got out, you know, that was a thing, bringing it back. And so, but more of our conversation, yeah, he just, I felt like he knew. I feel like, you know, in those dreams of seeing death around him, I feel like he knew, and he felt sick. Like, I felt like he knew what was happening. And I feel like even his, you know, pursuit into making those lectures, like, I felt like that was just even charged by him really wanting to, like, you know, push that dream and just, so when I realized that he was sick on tour of the lectures, you know, and I'm all like, dang, well, like the whole time he was like that, you know, but that was still like his last run, you know, that whole season. And I was a part of that, you know. So I told him, I said, you know, Sebi, you should appreciate what you've done. You've done so much, you know. He wore the face of, I mean, even if it was other people helping him, doing his herbs, like, it takes a lot of energy to still be the face of it all. And like, even the mannerism of his lectures and of his, you know, public speaking that he was diligent about, that we all know him about from YouTube videos and, you know, in person, like, he was an inspiration. You know, I really appreciated him. So I told him that, you know, sometimes, Sebi, you just pass the torch. You know, you just, you know, you accept what you done did in life, and you just pass on the rest of your dreams. Because it was like, maybe he felt like it should have happened better or different, but he sparked something. And this always been a touchy issue for me. So I'm doing my best.
You're doing great.
Okay. I want some water. I told him, yeah, I was talking about passing the torch, and that, you know, accepting what you did. And I start speaking about myself, and I guess what I would know of myself just growing up, feeling like I was a part of, you know, the healing world, or that I would be able to do a lot of things when it comes to healing. So I feel like just even within myself, innately feeling connected to that type of work, you know. So I mentioned that. I told him, I was like, yeah, you know, the herbs, what was I saying about the herbs? I don't know, something about, well, we was going at it. We was in a real, it didn't sound like this. You know, it didn't sound like this. Because, you know, he got this real combative little flow to him, and or he's just really assertive, you know, and firm in what he's saying. So, yeah, I feel like the most special moments with Sebi would be his stillness. He had a nice stillness about him, like when he just went into his vibe, and he just felt easy to be around, you know. So after we started talking, you know, he eventually got back to that vibe, and I met his son, I met his other daughter.
Do you remember their names?
Yeah. Victor and Saama. Yeah, I met. Oh, and Taiwa. She was the first one that greeted me. Saama came in when we was talking, and she was like, "Oh man, you're beautiful," and I smiled at her. I said, "Oh, this is Saama. This is the famous Saama." I would hear him talking about her. So I start talking about my hands. I start talking about how, we just step up. We step up in life. Like when someone lays the foundation, now we can see the blueprint of how to make that even better. So I said something about, I guess, just healing, like healing people with hands, just healing people, even without herbs. And then, that's what I told him. I said, healing people without herbs, but still using herbs to help facilitate the healing, but just being able to do that. And he's like, well, how are you gonna do that? And I was like, well, honestly, I don't know yet, but I can stay here till I figure it out. So I said that, I always replay that in my mind, because it's like when I engaged in Sebi, I just felt responsible. I felt responsible for why I felt connected to him, So I always think about just what I feel like I need to be doing, or what's my work, or what's my gift, or what's my ability, to the world, or just what responsibility do I hold with the gifts that I have, So I go get my luggage, Sebi agreed, and I stayed the night. But as soon as, it was a lot of tension in the house, so I just I met with the people who was already at the village, just roundabout, just chilling out. And it was fun being present with them, like feeling a sense of a tribe or a community, or just seeing a community that was there and feeling inspired, that I felt like I was going to be able to sit there and figure it out, like spend some time in the village, like I'm, letting the house chill out. But so I went to some guy's house, and I was involved in a talking discussion, and I was listening, probably more so than anything. And he was talking about Lisa Lopez and how what she and her crew did when they was around in the village, And I remember hearing from him that they would walk around naked, and not that I wanted to walk around naked, but I was really working to, strengthen my commitment to being with the sun, and like, and it just felt more natural to be able to, get more sun on your skin. And so I had this outfit. Oh, you should have saw my outfit when I woke up the next day. I went to the sauna, or the steam room, the water room. It was the ground was wet and hot because the water rose, but that was intense. That 15 minutes, that was good. I liked how it looked there. It was, it was nice. But that morning I put my headphones on. I put on an outfit where I had on more clothes than a swimming suit, but I don't know, I have to show you or something. But I guess the word got around that I was walking around naked, And since I had that conversation, I was feeling kind of inspired, But then I had already been, you know, crafting it at your house. Like I'm all doing projects. I done got bees and I'm all in the sun. I was in the sun there, you know, a little pocketed area in the sun, just sitting there, feeling like I can't get the sun everywhere, you know. But it was nice. It was nice having that extra time to ground from after that happening. Like that was nice. I like it. It gave me some time. I wrote something. I wonder where that was. I wrote something right after I exchanged, and I ended up. So okay, there's so much more.
Take your time.
So I got up, I got dressed, I put my headphones on. I had on like this cape looking thing. And I got up and I started cleaning stuff. Like I started going over to areas where it was real kind of, it was just junky. You know, over in the village, maybe tucked in the corner. So I started cleaning up. I was bringing cups and bowls to the glass house. Like I don't know where this goes, but you know, I was throwing stuff away, and I was in my, you know, I was listening to music. I was dancing. I was being me, you know. So, and then somebody walked up to me and told me that they wanted me to leave. So I was a bit stubborn to that because Sebi was talking about integrity, and I just felt like I didn't know why. Didn't nobody want to tell me nothing. They was just pushing me off the premises. And eventually, you know, I settled a bit more. I got outside the gate and my necklace broke. I had a cowrie shell necklace that broke, and everybody was picking up the pieces and giving it back to me at the gate. And then at that point, I had this fascination with the jungle because I watched, you know, the Lisa, the Left Eye, her documentary about her experience there, and her talking about the jungle, and I just wanted, you know, I wanted to go to the jungle, you know, like as simple as that. Like I was stubborn about going to the jungle. Man, it'd be so many mosquitoes once you get out the country in the jungle. But so I started walking towards the jungle, and then the cop came and got me and told me I couldn't go in the jungle. So I went back to the barbershop, and you know, my processing of what all of that meant to me began even more, because that was the last time, the January before he died, that I saw Sebi. I was in Honduras. So it was interesting, you know, because I will always be reflecting on what that meant to me, and just, you know, at that time in my life, I was looking for how to become a healer. You know, I was all looking outside of myself like, oh, this person, I'm watching this person. I like kind of some of what they do, and I like kind of some of what they do. And I really like Sebi, You know, I want to go over there and just, you know, train and learn, you know. But it was a few different people at that time period that I was, you know, moving towards to, I guess, feel like somebody could teach me how to be, you know, into health and healing and how to do this and that to, you know, just what all of that meant to me, because it felt like my calling, or it felt like just what I was involved in. So that was my first like real commitment to, hey, I want to go learn there. And I would go everywhere I felt like I wanted to go to learn. But so with Sebi, it's like I would feel, I would dream a lot about, you know, our relationship. And then I will also see how I felt like I couldn't get to him, you know. So after I found out he passed, like, it's just, I mean, even more affirming. I had a reading and somebody said, yeah, you're gonna work with Sebi. And maybe soon after that they passed. So I remember feeling confused, like, well, how do you work with somebody that's not here? Or when I felt like I wasn't able to work with him and he was still alive, well, how do you work with somebody? I'm just, you know, in my head, overthinking. To realize, like, I had a dream he was sitting on a porch here one time, you know? And I was,
hey girl.
yeah, like saying something. He's funny. Motherfucker. He just always, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. Yeah, he was cool. He just had this vibe about him that just made you want to listen to him. It made you want to, you know, really chime into his stories. When we were in Mexico, we went and got some herbs, you know. He would tell me more, you know, just keep talking to me, be school, taking notes, just doodling throughout the day. I feel like I was getting just used to that we was just gonna be working with each other, just getting used to the vibe, getting used to the flow, you know. And
How long did the trip to Mexico take?
It was like,
How long was the drive? Did y'all stay the night?
yeah, we stayed the night and we left the next day. So it was just a night trip.
So you got a full day. What's one of the best stories he told you on that trip?
The first one I thought about, I'm gonna just say that one. He was talking about mama. He said, mama don't love better, she love different. You know, and maybe he would, you know, share his experience with his brother and how his mama gave his brother more attention, but like he ain't really needed.
The preacher?
Yeah, the preacher brother. And he was just, you know, he ain't need that much. So he was kind of off somewhere being him, you know? And that always stuck with me. And mama don't love better, she love different, you know? What else? That was the first one that popped in my head. But that day at the village, that one was real heated. But then it got so, it went back to how I felt we you know, our bond was in those dreams. It's like that was my first time really experiencing being so connected and present with somebody that, you know, I was just able to see clear, like, what was going on, like, even in that whole time period. Like, I even had a dream about I guess, the leader of the LA office. And the dream was like, she was like kind of just there. It was like a big version of her just kind of floating in the dream. And then it was a big version of Sebi sitting in his bed with his joint, like, and it was like a phone cord up to, it was up to him. And it also just felt like imprisonment. Like it felt like he was locked in his room or something. Or like he just, you know, he did so much that he just kind of accepted. He was accepting just, but then he was fighting. Sebi was, you know, it was interesting feeling like being pushed away from somebody and they really cared for you, you know, or they really wanted to be close to you, but they weren't able to. And then the scene, the situation of what he was going through, I started realizing maybe why I was pushed away, you know. And then, I don't know, I'm sitting here.
I like the vibe though.
Yeah. So in Mexico, it was interesting on our way back. So you ain't gotta do nothing on the way in. On the way back, we got stopped at the stopping section where they check everything, and I remember seeing Sebi's ID in the car, and he remembers seeing his ID in the car. But somehow when we got to the point where he needed his ID, we was sitting there for hours, because, you know, and then they had to go through his herbs, and I mean, at the end of it all, he got away because he Sebi, they didn't take none of his herbs, and we went back. We was driving in the car, he said Eddie Murphy gave him. But yeah, I spent the night at the office 2 nights. 2 nights. Or, no, because I still went there and went back to sleep, and then I left in the morning. So yeah, 2 nights. So it was probably like a 3-day thing. Yeah. We were supposed to go to Honduras, but, you know, something just magically popped up. So said the leader of the LA office.
China.
Yeah, and then I went home. And that didn't stop me, you know. I feel like when Sebi was in, let me give him his timeline. When Sebi was in Detroit, I was there, and I went to the house that he was at, and once again I just felt like I was a part of things, you know. And Sebi was talking to everybody, telling them, yeah, I got Kemit some mushrooms. And then, you know, he's like, yeah, everybody else kind of mad. I say the mushrooms for you, you know. And I was like, sorry, we're taking them. And I was around y'all, and it would be, I guess once again, I could also feel like the tension in the air, you know, like a me not feeling wanted around by a lot of the people, mostly women. Yeah, mostly women. So, the one dream where I saw myself at Usha Village and it was just surrounded by water, he said something to me. He said something to me that I heard him say in Lisa Left Eye in her documentary, or his, you know, his release of her. Just what he spoke about her. He called her his star, or he just held her, you know, in a manner that to what, you know, I saw touched him. So in this dream, he called me a star too. And I would always sit with that. So since him passing, I always just held like a responsibility, like my responsibility to honor in my way, just his legacy, and like passing on the torch, or just, you know, I don't feel like that didn't happen for no reason, you know. So just, I feel dutiful. Sebi. I was thinking about his laugh again.
Do you feel his presence now?
Yeah, especially more recently too. Anytime I think of you, I do. Like, it just be, because if it wasn't for you.
Do you think we all three have a connection?
Yeah, so it's like every time I see you, I feel close to you, I just feel reminded of the story, you know, and just feel like you, just how it happened. And if I didn't have you, like, I wouldn't have still had this opportunity after this opportunity after this opportunity. Like, it was, you know, a few different situations.
I try to just maintain that connection because I knew he liked you, and that's how you was able to come to the house from in Detroit. Because once we finished Chicago, he was like, "Now let's go tonight." And he was like, "Kemit is in Detroit. G, give her a call." And that's when I called you. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was so excited to see you.
Wow.
Do you think the other women were intimidated by you?
Yeah, I just feel like I just walk in a way, I don't know. But, you know, the moment we left the LA office to go to Mexico, oh my goodness, Sebi drives like he's on a boat. He drives like he's on a boat. I honest to everything. If I just didn't have the trust to know that, you know, everything is okay, I probably would have thought we was gonna get into an accident multiple times. And he so confidently swerved like he in the boat too, like going fast as everything. And it was wild on a journey with him. And he probably talk all like that too. He talk all like that. Yeah, that was fun. That was a nice moment.
You're the first person to describe his driving. Nobody else talked about it.
Yeah, man, he was whoa. So when I would have those dreams about him always being in the boat, I would understand. I was like, he just got this boat, and even also his stories about him being on the ship. You know, like I would just see that, like, you know, like that's, and just his vibe, like he just always felt like a boat of water to me. He was, you know, Sebi was just live. I mean, he was like active water. You know, he got his, how he liked to speak into things. Yeah, he eventually told me, maybe in Atlanta, he called me because he asked me to go to the lecture to him in Atlanta, and I showed up in Atlanta, and I was calling, and I wasn't getting through, and I wasn't understanding. But then I ended up at the talk show afterwards, but didn't nobody know I was gonna be there.
People's TV.
People's TV, right. So I saw him there, and he probably called me the next day, and he told me why. He said, yeah, a lot of the women don't want you around. And I'm like, oh, I see that. So when I first left the LA office, you know, I walked through, I saw everything. I saw everything. I walked, like I was, he made, we had some plantain, his spelling avocado. He always got his bed. He always got his bed sitting up there at his desk. So
What's something that you could tell us about Sebi that a lot of people don't know, or that surprised you?
The first thing I thought about was so when we were in Mexico, we went to Ensenada. We walked all down. It was all people trying to sell you stuff, and we walked inside and ate. And it was some place. I feel like maybe he was saying there. I'm not sure if he went there with Lisa too, or he was just talking about her at the table, and or the stories about how she kind of walked up to him and was like, "You need to stop eating this. You need to stop eating that, and stop eating this." So probably at that dinner, like he ordered something that I guess if you were a strict list follower, that wasn't on the list, you know? And at that point, I'm just looking at everybody like, well, if it's not this, then what is it? You know? And that's it, that's that with me. You know, but then I also understand that, you know? It kind of really, I guess just cause I do that sometimes. I eat some, just even that I feel like I don't want to eat, but it just be, a desire, and I guess I understand maybe how those desires can come, but it just, I appreciated seeing that. I did. I ain't, feel no way, but I still felt really connected to him. What else? Something that I didn't expect. Yeah, he cussed a lot. That motherfucker. But then, it made talking to him fun. It made it, he was just real fun. And he'd tell a hell of a story. So yeah, just how the expansion of his vocabulary, I had this one dream where it felt like I went into like his chambers, and maybe it felt like a bigger boat too, because it's like he was at the top, like if you had like rows on a boat, like a balcony or something, and I remember seeing 3 moons. They was all some type of crescent, 3 moons, and it just looked like I was able to see, where he learned from or something. Like it was just a real beautiful space, and I saw him up there, and it felt like he was teaching me something, So
You miss him?
yeah, I feel I just feel responsible. Like I always felt responsible to do something to carry us into an even deeper, space of healing, like to keep pursuing more, like to even to build villages, like even here, like I want to build a village like that here, When I was in the village, I ran down to, the middle part where all the huts were, and it felt good. And I wanted to do something with them. I wanted to do a fire. I just wanted to get to know people, and I was like, yeah, cause it felt like when I went to the village, it just felt like it was real, just routine. And I wasn't there. I was only there for a bit of time. I don't know how it's changed or anything, but I was just like, oh, I know what I need to do. So I just ran down there and I don't know, it felt good to be around the people. And plus everybody in the house kind of hated me. So my time was short-lived. What I just realized since then is how you can go into yourself and get all the answers that you need. I felt like I needed somebody to teach me in a certain way, this or that. But really, you can learn from just being in the presence of somebody, being access to just energy, to being able to go to spaces and just download, you just got that gift, He would always say he wasn't the healer, but I always felt like I was supposed to be a big healer, So.
Do you still feel that way now?
Yeah, I do. So I feel, because we had a real heated conversation in there, and I meant what I was saying, So in my head, it's like, and I feel the type of responsibility that was, because. Man, it really takes a lot to be that type of presence for the people, or even the fight, even just specifically the court case, even just specifically that, because that broke ground, like that literally broke ground in our existence, in this time of day especially. It's just we all feel like we can't. We can't get into healing. We just gotta, be all like that all the time. So it really frees people when they know that they can be healed and like start their lives again or feel renewed, or just really it's just a different lifestyle. We've been living lifestyles that don't support our healing and other things. But yeah, so anytime I think of him, I think of the fact that I need to be up on the stage doing something, or I just think about my service and my work and just my gift, just really accessing and making use to who I am, and I just felt close. I just felt like I was up on the rise or something, I was around Sebi and I got a big responsibility or something.
So what's your next moves?
Oh man. Well, so I realized that I was told once that I have to be okay with doing something that's never been done before. And I'll be sitting with that, because usually we look at everything that we've seen done and we might not know how to go into the undone, and just to create something new that elevates things. So going into myself to listen more. Like my biggest thing is really how well I listen and trust and focus on myself. So at the end of the day, a lot of internal work. But from that, I had this one dream where I had like a a healing space. You know, people, like I was a doctor. It looked like I was a doctor. So it's people in there. It had pennies all over the place. Like maybe people were paying me in pennies. Oh, and I just really appreciated, you know, his goal. Like he wanted, that's what it was. He wanted to create villages all over the world for healing, and to, you know, gather money and to provide these services for free. Like I felt him in the money of things, moving, kind of feeling limited or wanting the money, but he would always speak about wanting to make it more affordable and free, and the people just pay and recycle it. And I like the boat idea of going and offering water, and I just,
the Bolingo project.
yeah, the Bolingo. Like that felt like, I mean, even being here, that felt like I kind of wanted to do that here already. So when that happened, I'm like, well, I'm gonna just go do it there, you know. But then I came back home, but then just in the back and forth, I still value that. Like I want to create, you know, villages in different places that is like a one-stop shop for healing, you know, to make it more available. Because if we were in better health, or if we knew the lifestyle of better health, I mean, we wouldn't really be in a lot of these situations that we in. And that's why people love being able to be here. I mean, like that's power. That's the element. Like that's survival. You know, how well we can defend ourselves and rebuild ourselves and just strengthen, you know, our bodies. So, yeah.
So back to my question, what you going to do?
I'm a build a village like Sebi. I'm a build a village. I'm gonna build it, and I'm gonna exhale to the stage, and I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Can you tell me that looking into the camera?
You know, I am a healer, and I'm healing myself. You know, it's just a lot. Cause so wait, I do want to speak on something specific that I read in your book that I was so grateful to hear. Cause even feeling like throughout that whole time that I could feel Sebi felt sick. You know, and like confirming in the book that you said he was literally sick then, but also you were saying at some of those lectures that you had a jazz performance for him. And I was so, man, that really touched me.
In Chicago.
Cause in Chicago, yeah, that really touched me. Cause I would recall when you said, you know, when you said Sebi didn't really like to do this. He liked music, and he liked, you know, just the stuff. I mean, like when you're in positions like that, you really have to maintain, you know, that presence with things that you love, you know, to balance. Cause it just felt like a lot of energy to have to deal with, just maintaining the role that he did, you know, just fighting, just working for people, just. So I am building myself. I am building a village. I am building a village. I am building a village. One day at a time, putting myself first and my baby first, and creating a space where healing could take place. Yeah.
When?
Oh man, I relied on you just questioning me.
No, I like the fact that you got the vision already. You ever thought about doing it, continuing here, because it's a healing environment here?
So this has always been, you know, my blueprint. And what I do is I just learn. You know, I just learn from situations and circumstances. Even watching Sebi and seeing everything he went through, like I can assess it, and I can download that and just know how to move to better that, to be mindful of how things can go, you know, how you can get in situations like this. So I've been studying it, you know, I've been studying how to maintain a village, because it takes a lot, you know.
That is magic with it.
Yeah, oh definitely. My parents, I always felt like the three of us worked really well together. You know, she brought this place when she was pregnant with me. And then I started feeling charged and activated into, you know, building something on this place, because I wanted to help her. I was just growing old. I had to get me out, because all my life I kind of been suppressing myself, you know, trying to run away from the spotlight, trying to say, oh, well, I know I got to do something, but leave me alone, you know. Like I just felt like it's been calling me, and I've been running from the call or something, you know. But I'm present. So every time I would think about Sebi, or I think about you, and then once you start putting your book out, I was like, dang, I still got to do something in response to this. Like I got to do what this meant to me, you know. So I feel more with the responsibility. But this is a work in progress, you know. It's a work in progress. I'm not going to expect that it can just happen overnight, but you know, I am diligently, like I do everywhere I go, like I want to make that happen, cause it's valuable, you know. So one place at a time. I'm committed to the dream. I am committed to the dream. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Just thank you, Sebi. I just saw him up floating in the boat, just smiling. I'm okay. I'm cool. Yeah.
If he can hear you right now, what you want to tell him?
I just thought about my hands. Like I just wanted to. I wanted to help heal him. You know, I wanted to fulfill fulfill what I saw in his vision. You know, what feels. I don't know. I say I might just smile at him if he's here. Give him a hug. Tell him to say a story, light a joint. You know, just sit with him. He was cool to just sit with, you know.
That's real.
Yeah. I still feel present with him though. I mean, most of I would just dream about him so much, you know. I still feel like he around. When I said I saw him on the porch one day, so I hope he doing everything he like. Just, you know, making sure he giving himself a good balance.
I'm good. I got what I wanted.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else you want to
I ain't
add?
got nothing else to say. I'm talking.
Well, Kemit,
Yes.
I love you, sister.
Thank you.
Ever since the day I met you, you've been nothing but positive energy. And I'm going to let this part go on the videotape as well. This is Abelardo Guerrero Jr., a.k.a. Mr.G., letting you know you are very special to me. And I want to thank you for everything you do to make me a better person. Every time we talk, I feel like I grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Abelardo.
I love you, sister.
I love you too.
You're so shy. And